All right, we're gonna kick off May 16th, Argo Contributor Experience Meeting. I will be your host. So first off, if you have discussion topics you'd like to discuss, please add them. And then issue triage if you want to add those issues. So we'll get to the report. Before we go to that, let's pick um, someone to be on issue triage for next week. If your name is on this list, then you haven't done it in a while. So if you're available, please raise your hand first. Um, Akram, I see you're here. Are you able to do it this week?
Um, yeah, this week I would like to talk about a PR that I have. So maybe if someone else can do it, that will
Okay.
help.
Any other volunteers? The next one on the list would be uh, Keith or Alexander or Jan Bueller. Let me look. Let's see. I actually can do it this week. I know I did it last week and I mean the week before last week, but so if somebody else, maybe it's your first time wanting to do it, um, I can help you out. Okay, we still need a secondary. We'll let people think about it for a minute. Keith, are you available this week?
I did it, I think 2 weeks ago with you.
Oh, you did do it with me with 2 weeks ago. Okay, so the next one would be Remington, Sumia,
I can do secondary.
Sumia. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's you and me this week. All right. Um, then going through the weekly stats, looks like we had an uptick in open issues and PRs. Pull requests, we went up to 24 open last week and 33 closed. Uh, so slight uptick there. Scale issues went up just a little bit. And then great job, Leo, on being our top reviewer, followed by Pasha, myself, Ishida, Akram. Good to see you there. Crenshaw showed up even though he's been on vacation. And actually, he was one of our top mergers this week, tied with Pasha, and then Ishida and myself. So great work. Let's go to issue triage. Ishida, Leo, do you guys have anything to report for the week?
Yeah, one thing I've been investigating the last week was the issue we discussed related to the server side apply, not server side apply, the server side diff. So in some cases, it was causing Argo CD to panic. So I was able to identify the piece in the code, the line in the code that could raise that issue, and I pushed commit to that. Unfortunately, this is not a trivial cherry pick because it involves GitOps engine, and this is maybe something that we should take sooner rather than later. I mean, bringing back GitOps engine in the main repo. I have a PR open to that, but yeah, there are a few issues in that PR that needs to be solved, but it would address this type of issues in the future. So
Let's see.
that's
What
my
was
my
the
update.
PR called?
Say that again.
What was the PR called?
I can send the link. The PR for merging or the PR for fixing the panic.
For fixing.
Yeah, I can send the link to you.
Okay. Oh,
I'll send
sorry.
it in the chat in a
Sumia and
second.
Christian, you guys were volunteering in the chat, but Sumia, we got you. So, do you need any help on that?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna check the link to the PR. I'm gonna send you and update the doc if we don't. I don't think we have to hold the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Any other issues to bring up from issue triage this week?
Not for me.
Okay. All right, then let's grab these into the discussion. So first issue was abort ongoing operation when a new revision is available.
Yeah, it's me. Thank you. So the question, I completed review of this pull request. It's not doing everything that I would expect, but it's still really fine pull request and it solve some part of the issue. So I wanted to hear from you if someone else want to review it in coming days before I will do final test and we'll merge it. Yeah, as you all can see, it's this feature is enabled by a specific flag in app manifest. So like it's not changing default behavior. And also you can see that amount of thumbs ups on this issue, on this pull request. It's really highly requested. So appreciate if you want to review it. Otherwise, I will consider to do final test tomorrow and merge it. I just missed documentation part here, and if you can do additional review, it would be nice.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Any conversation or discussion people want to bring up about this? I think this is something that's been talked about for a while as I think the fact that it's set up as a Boolean in the CRD makes a lot of sense to me. So
Yep.
Great. Okay. Sounds good. Akram, you wanted to bring up consistent sharding and bounding loads.
Yes. So this one is a PR that we have been working on for a while. It has also an enhancement proposal that has been documented. It's here in the PR. The current algorithm now, the current implementation has reached a bit of maturity, I would say. So Enclavet, who is a mature Andrew Lee, sorry, from AWS, he has tested it quite deeply as well. So the idea behind this algorithm, sorry, it's a quite common algorithm that is used for distributed system to ensure that the load of a system is quite distributed enough. And compared to what I have implemented before, which is the round-robin bounded loads, this one is more dynamic. It means that when the loads across the different shards of Argo CD here varies by, for example, having the number of servers increased or the number of shards being diminished, it will readjust automatically. So yeah, this is what it is doing. Basically, it uses the documented bounded loads algorithm that has been documented in Google research paper. This one, the link is in the PR at different levels. When the loads varies through up to a given factor. So this factor is also documented in Google's paper by reaching like 1.25. So if if the load is about to reach like more than 20% of the required load of the shard, the different servers will be reassigned, and they are reassigned to minimize the number of moves as well. So the results for this implementation were quite satisfying. There is a comment from Andrew where he mentions the numbers he get, and we see a significant improvement by using this algorithm. Again, this algorithm is in an opt-in mechanism. So for users who want to test it, it's not mandatory, of course. They just have to change the parameter, and they would be able to see if it matches their need.
Does you said there's a comment here that shows the performance?
It's wrong pair, I think. Then it's wrong
Mhm.
pair.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. This one.
Yeah, in this PR, yeah. Yeah, you just passed it, I think. Yeah, here this one is in the last iteration that we get. Yeah, we did different iteration on it and some improvement. And yeah, for this one, there is a comparison between the round robin algorithm and the consistent hash with bounded loads, which is this algorithm. So this is about the CPU usage and the number of changes in case of a cluster sharding redistribution. So for example, in this case, if we decrease the number of shards from 10 to 9 with the consistent hashing with bounded loads, there is only 10 reassignment, where with the round robin there is 37 changes. And so this is what is costly actually for Argo CD, because every time there is a change of server when it moves to another shard, there is all the cached resources that are reloaded by this server, and this is what takes time. So as long as we can minimize the number of changes in case of a redistribution, it has a positive impact on performances.
Is there a time improvement in the sharding, like to rebalance?
Um, Let me check that. Andrew, he made a blog post about that as well, and he has more accurate digit about that.
Oh, cool. These results, I mean, they look pretty promising. One question I had just looking at this, because this is referencing a known algorithm, was any of this code, example code, provided as part of the algorithm, or is this all completely original?
That's a good question. No, there is of course, yeah, the algorithm. This one, I mean, it has been explained in the paper. And there are some examples, as there is also like different implementations available in different languages. So yeah, there is some inspiration that has been taken from what is in the paper and the different implementations in different languages.
Okay, but there's not any like code licensing issues that we need to worry about or anything.
Yeah, I need to check that, by the way, just to be sure. I should read that in the paper and see if there is no like patent or whatever, which I'm not sure. But as it is used in in other different open source projects, I'm quite confident about that. But I will double check.
Yeah, I assume it's fine. Just would double check that the license is compatible. And if you didn't use any of this of what was open sourced, um then we don't have to worry about it. But I think HA proxy is probably MIT license or something. I don't know. So okay. So we'll just want to double check the license. Cool. Awesome. Looks like a great PR. Yeah, good
And
work.
Carlos in the chat, he mentioned the article as well.
Thank you
So,
for reviewing it and the feedback.
Is this linked on the PR?
um, there was like different discussions and things like that, so I don't remember if we have posted it as well in the PR.
We should include it in the docs when we do the docs on adding this algorithm as an option in the config.
Oh, cool. All right, nice. Let's take a look at this. So it looks like you had just a few nits on it, but it looks like it's pretty close to being ready to go.
Yeah, it's been taking a while, but it's good progress. A lot of work from Akram on this.
Yeah,
And
good work.
Argo.
Was this did this come out of SIG scalability?
Yeah,
Nice. That's cool. It's cool to see that SIG bearing fruit.
it takes time, right, to see results. Like, but yeah.
Nice. Okay, good work. Unless we have anything else on that topic, I think we'll move to the next one. Sidesh, add labels on
Yeah,
application K8's
yeah,
events.
yeah. I wanted to get some eyes on my PR. So it's to add functionality to expose labels onto the K8s events which are created by Argo. So specifically for the application events. So it is created against a enhancement request. So 11381. So where the user is looking for options to group events. So we have it for we already exposed labels onto Prometheus metrics. So they were looking for options, similar options for events. So the use case described is that uh, they have different labels differentiating teams, and they want to group these events based on teams and then send them to their logging stack. So based on the discussions on that issue, I've come up with this PR where I've introduced a key in Argo CD config map, which takes in event label. And when the events are generated for applications, uh, the the application labels and its app project labels are compared against this key from the config map. And if there is a match, that corresponding label is added onto the event so that it can be later used to group or filter events.
And am I looking at this correctly? This is that there's some additional work to do here? Or am I?
No, so uh, no additional work, at least from my side, is
Hmm.
should be done.
And do you think you want to support application-specific labels and not like the generic ones from config map?
Uh, Sorry, I didn't get it.
Like, do you think you want to support some application? As I can see, you define the list of labels inside
Yeah,
config, right?
yeah. So it
Mhm.
defines the keys of the label. So if the
Ah,
application
I
has
understand.
those labels,
Yeah,
yeah, those
mhm.
values are.
I understand.
If the application has the labels,
Mhm.
do we need to filter them? Like, could we just pass all the labels from any applications generating these rather than presetting the list?
Yeah, so I thought of it. So I thought of directly adding all the labels onto the events for that particular application. But then I was not sure of the consequences of those. So
At least there should be an option to impede a certain label from showing up in the events. Because just because you have RBAC access to an event doesn't mean you have RBAC access to read the Argo app. Right? Like if I'm putting, I'm saying that people put secrets, but if they do,
So if you could have through RBAC, you're saying you could have access to the event, but not to the application.
yeah, monitoring, right? Monitoring only needs access to events, doesn't need to have like all the details, secrets that I'm putting in the apps.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
But
And
we're not talking about all the details in the apps. We're just talking about the labels in the apps, right? So the idea would
which could have any information that I want to put in there, like my social security number
yeah,
in the
the
label.
labels.
Yeah, it's an index. I like to index.
people could make terrible decisions to add things to
Dan
labels.
gets that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Siddharth, can you show us a little bit better how users would be providing the keys in the config map?
Yeah, I have it in the PR itself.
I think that put a good thing is like a UX of like what's the default. So the thing is like if it's enable all of them go into the events, and then the filter is which ones you want to prevent, right?
No,
That's a better UX.
no, it's so right now it's the other way where which
Yep.
ones you want on the label on
Understand.
the
Yep.
events.
Which is the UX is not ideal because then you have to go through 1,000 different applications to find like all the possible options of labels and then create a massive amount of information in here, right?
Oh,
Does
But
it
the
support wildcards? Like, could I put just like a star in here? Probably not.
no,
good idea.
no. Yeah, but we could. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like do you want to have this filter a negative filter or a positive filter? That's all, I guess.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Leo?
like resource include event label keys and resource exclude a label keys. Maybe add an additional entry here in the config map.
Both negative and whitelist and blacklist. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
not inclusion and inclusion.
yeah.
Supporting
Then we have
wildcards.
both possibilities. Wildcards could be an improvement, a future improvement. In my opinion.
Yeah. Regardless, the feature is very useful because recently I'm telling some end users of like best practices to listen to Argo events versus fetching information from the Argo apps. Like listen to events and then react if this Argo app changes status or something happens, then if and then using eventing versus trying to like always hammer pulling information from the Argo app.
I'm trying
Maybe
to think.
Siddharth, another suggestion would be to if we have the two keys, right? The one to include and the other one to exclude, you could have something like the include label keys accepting star and the exclude, then people can define the specific labels they want.
Yeah.
Instead of wildcard, because that complicates the implementation a bit. So just instead of that, check in the code if there is a star provided in the event label keys, just add everything and exclude what is the exclude label keys. So this way we can address the use case where users just want to have everything, every label in the app as part of the events, but being able to exclude specific ones that are sensitive.
Yep.
Okay. Or can we do it this way where if the include label key is present in Argo CD config map with some values, then filter out or else just add everything.
So sorry, I don't think I understand the question.
Yeah, so what I was saying is instead of having star in include label keys, if the key itself is present with some values, do not add all the labels by default. But if it is missing from the config map, then consider that user wants everything to be added onto the event and process it accordingly.
Oh no, you don't want that because people that have if without the configuration, then the default would be like add new information to the event. I don't think we want to do that. That'd be kind of
Yeah, because
okay.
right.
if we have this,
You'll be exposing information just by upgrading Argo City.
Okay, got it. So this will act as a switch kind of to off that.
Yeah.
a feature
Right.
flag kind of thing, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
turn it on.
what
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm still thinking about like who would put like what information would be leaked from an application. And because I actually would expect that most of the time you would be safe to put every label from applications in. Because it's like a weird setup to put secrets in there or social security numbers. It would be unusual. Like I'm trying to think. And then the only other thing I would worry about is like, well, sometimes people have a lot of labels. So
Yeah.
is there an issue if they have like 70 labels? Is there some sort of you know, I don't know how much space there is and if we're truncating the events or what, but that might be something we need to think about.
Yeah, an event I think is just an SCD entry, right? So we're still bounded by the 1 meg or 1.5 meg.
Yeah, so I don't know what would happen if you tried to dump more in. But I mean, like etcd wouldn't take it, but like I don't know if Argo has the same.
Ah, okay. Yeah, HCD will handle it.
What was that?
HCD will handle it, like because you're putting a portion of the Argo app CR, so it will never go beyond the 1 meg limit of HCD. It will be something like in Argo, be concerned, like testing, I guess.
Well, yeah, but for example, like when we're outputting this, if you tried to dump a meg of labels in here.
You can do that today with a deployment or a pod or config map. It's just another CR object, right? Oh, it's the same thing as like kubectl get our application, show labels, and then it shows the same labels in the app that in the event.
Oh yeah, well this is a Kubernetes thing, so I guess
Yeah. That's
I
what
would
I'm
not
trying to
worry
say.
about it in that way.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. All right, cool.
So Siddharth, are you okay with those suggestions?
Yeah. Thanks for the suggestions. I will
Thank
update
you.
that.
And if you can update the docs, I think it's very important to have that clarified as well for the users on how to properly use the feature.
Yeah, it's not enough to
Sure.
just have it commented in the config map. We need to have actual in the operator guide.
So do we need a separate doc or config map doc is fine?
No, I think we need a doc on we have documentation on like the Argo CD config map, and we'll need like an entry added to that documentation.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other topics that people have that they want to bring up? Okay, if not, then we have reviewers assigned for next week, and we should be good. So I would move to close the meeting and give everybody 10 minutes back, roughly 13 minutes. Cool. All right. Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks all. Bye.